Russ can't fly. And you know this, man. So, you know, I always give a subscriber shout out, but this one, since this part of the journey is coming to an end, and the journey is definitely not going to end after I get my license. We are just going to be getting started. But this part of this phase of the journey is definitely coming to an end. I hope, Lord, please, I hope. But at any rate, I want to give a shout out to my CFI. Not going to say his name to protect his privacy, but I wanted to give him a special shout out because he's been with me throughout this journey. I had 2 CFIs, and if you remember, if you go way back to the first flight lesson, I'll post that video, you'll see it pop up on the screen. He was here for a little while, wasn't a bad CFI, just had to do something else. This current CFI that I have now, I've been with him for, oh man, over a year now. And he's stuck with me, he's been patient with me, and he's really made me into the pilot that I am now. And so since I am on the cusp of getting close to my check ride and becoming a licensed private pilot, I wanted to give Big M a shout out and to thank him for being with me on this journey, for being such an amazing CFI, and I wish you all the best in all that you do. You are an incredible instructor, you are an amazing pilot. Whatever it is that you have in your future, I wish you Godspeed, brother. You're the best. All right, let's get over to the airport. Time to practice maneuvers again. Let's get it. All right, slide on the throttle. I'm on the brakes. Clear prop. Master on.
Wings failed, Cessna 901, Quebec Sierra, taxiing from the upper ramp for runway 24 wings.
Okay, so this is really about me shoring up my maneuvers, make sure I can do everything within the ACS standards. I wasn't able to show all of the maneuvers in my last video, and that was not, you know, so you can see that one up above that just popped up. So I wanted to, in this video, show some of the other maneuvers and talk about the ACS standards for them. So let's get to it.
All right, so we got our mixtures full rich, full tanks on both. Trim is set for takeoff. Primer is locked. Lights are on. Flaps are up. And we're good. I don't see or hear anybody on final. The field is clear. We are ready to go. Ready to go, sir? Ready to go. Wings traffic, Cessna 901 Quebec Sierra, departing runway 24, right turn out to the north, wings. During the runway, I see runway 24. Straighten the nose wheel, runway 24, runway 24, we are good to go. Heels to the floor, full power. Alright, engine instruments in the green. Oil tip, oil pressure, suction all look good. Airspeed is alive. And she's ready to fly, rotate.
So I'm going to show some different maneuvers in this video, like I said at the beginning. But I did want to show you one of my steep bank turns because I'm actually getting better. And as you can see, my CFI is not saying a whole lot. The quieter he is, the better. And so I didn't hear him say a whole lot at all for that whole sequence, and there's a lot that I cut out just for time. But yeah, he was quiet for a lot of that sequence, so this is getting better. And this is what it's going to be like when that DPE, or that designated pilot examiner, is sitting next to me. He is not going to be saying much. In fact, if he says anything, or if he has to take over the plane, I'll probably fail. So anyway, let's get to some maneuvers, and you can see, I think I'm getting better, getting ready.
Let's do steep turns.
All right, steep turns.
So going out of your spot.
So the one question I had, so do I I know I want to do my clearing turns first.
Yep.
Do I set myself up on my speed first? Can I go to 90, or should I do my clearing turns at
Clearing
my
turns,
speed?
and while you're doing it, set yourself up.
Okay, okay,
That's what I would do.
okay.
Is on a 10-mile final.
All right, gonna do clearing turns.
And always, like, you can do your clearing turns based on your current heading, but when you choose to start, always choose a visual reference to your
Yep,
steep turns on.
yep. So I'm gonna use the stacks again.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna use these stacks as my reference.
Still around 95.
All right.
Got the traffic on final.
All right. To the right.
So when I do steep turns, the turning to the right is the most difficult for me. All right, so see the smoke? I'm turning away from the smoke from that stack. I'm coming all the way back around to that. Now, what you want to see is look at the horizon, look at the front of the plane. The distance between the two should stay consistent. But what you really don't want to see is a lot of ground between the horizon and the front of the plane. The more ground you see, the more my attitude is low. The less ground you see, it's high. And you can see it was pretty consistent. The in there. So that was pretty good.
Watch the nose.
Now going to the left, the sight picture's a little bit different. So where the horizon meets the cowling or the front of the plane should almost be like right at the propeller. So it should stay right there. And as you can see, not too bad. It's kind of right in the middle there, right at the propeller. It's staying. Now I'm looking for my turnout point. There's the smoke, and I roll on out. And as you can see, I had a little bit of a nose drop there at the end.
Perfect.
Wasn't afraid to use that power this time. It's like, stop being so timid with the power, dude.
Perfect. That was perfect. All right. Let's get into slow flight.
All right, slow flight.
So I really felt really good about that maneuver, that 360, that steep bank turn. I really felt it, like, you know, being able to put in the right power inputs, enough back pressure, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to show the slow flight because I did that in the last video. I want to get to some of the other maneuvers and talk about the ACS standards for them.
We're gonna do soft field takeoff, soft field landing.
Okay. All right. So my flaps are 10, mixture's full rich, carb heat is off, steering, no brakes.
Did you make your call?
Oh. Wings traffic, Cessna 91, go back Sierra, departing runway 24, staying in the pattern wings.
So for all my non-pilots out there, believe it or not, there are times where you land on strips that are not asphalt. Sometimes you will take off or land on grass runways or gravel or hard-packed sand on beaches. I don't plan on doing that anytime soon, but that's what a soft field is, and you're trying to protect the nose wheel. So watch the nose.
All right, straighten out the nose wheel. All right, wheels on floor, full power.
So I'm pulling the yoke back, and you can see that the nose wheel is like almost like we're popping a wheelie down the runway, and I got to keep that nose wheel off the ground so it doesn't dig in or get caught on the grass or in ruts.
Nose down, nose down, nose down, nose down.
Now the thing that you're supposed to do on a soft field takeoff is basically, you know, like I said, almost like pop a wheelie. Get the nose wheel off the ground. The back wheels will still be on, but then once it comes off the ground, it takes off, then you lower the nose so you can get into ground effect, so you can build your speed up, and then you can climb out. If you don't build your speed up, it'll be in ground effect, and the plane will pretend like it's ready to fly, and you get out of ground effect, and the plane sinks and you crash. So that's why getting into ground effect, getting that nose down is key. And so that's one of the most important aspects of this soft field takeoff. The other aspect of this soft field takeoff is that once you do take off, you're supposed to climb out at V speed or VX, which is the best angle of climb, which means you're going to climb pretty rapidly so that you can clear 50-foot obstacle, and don't want to get too far down in the weeds, but you have to be within plus 10, no more than minus 5 of the VX speed, and then VY plus 10, no more than minus 5. And the VX and VY speeds for my airplane that I'm flying, Quebec Sierra, is, so VX, or the best angle of climb for my plane, is 62 knots, and VY, or the best rate of climb, is 73. So I have to be within plus 10 or no more than minus 5 of 62 and 73 once I take off for a soft field takeoff. And that applies for short field takeoff as well.
Wings traffic, Cessna 901 Quebec Sierra, turning final for runway 24 wings.
Now on this soft field landing, it's the same idea. You want to protect that front nose gear. So it's almost kind of like you want to land really soft, really slow airspeed, and almost something like a big jet airliner. You know how it lands on the back wheels and that nose wheel comes down last and soft? It's the same idea. The other thing is, once you do land, you want to continue to keep back pressure on the yoke so that you continue to keep the pressure off of that front nose gear. I mean, just think if it's muddy or something like that, you don't want that nose gear digging in and then the gear collapsing and then the prop striking the ground. So that's the whole deal. So let's see how I do.
Over downwind runway 14.
Maybe pass a check ride, maybe, but
Okay.
it was soft, and you left it didn't really keep the nose wheel off the ground, but it didn't slam down and like that. But yeah, we'll keep trying that.
Yeah.
So I managed to come in at a decent speed. I definitely managed to land soft and protected the nose wheel. Just had this weird yaw to the left. And, you know, couldn't figure that out. It looked like it was coordinated. I didn't see the ball, you know, it was uncoordinated, but it was just weird. But not bad. Needs improvement, though.
Wings traffic, Cessna 901 Quebec Sierra, clear runway 24, taxiing back to runway 24 wings.
But we're going to do a short field landing, short field takeoff, short field landing this time around, okay?
Okay.
All right, so a short field takeoff and landing is exactly what it sounds like. Your runway is really short, so you want to be able to land on a dime, get those flaps up, get on those brakes, and stop short. So rather than landing something like, I don't know, 2,000 feet, you want to land in 1,000 feet because you have to. You're coming in over trees and you've got about maybe 1,500, 2,000 feet of runway. So you don't have a lot of time or else you'll end up down an embankment or whatever. So, and a short field is, again, the runway is just not really long. So you have to figure that out. So that's what these are. So let's see what these maneuvers look like.
Self-configure here, so mixtures full rips, flaps 10, fuel tanks on both, trim set for takeoff, and we'll do our lights once we make our call, and they clear. Wings traffic, Cessna 901 Quebec Sierra, departing runway 24, staying in the pattern wings.
Okay, short field, same thing as soft for the V speed, VX no more than 10, no less than 5, and VY same thing.
Alright, I want to use as much runway as possible.
And again, the reason for that is because you're in, you know, this is supposed to be a short field. So, you know, see that grass? I want to be as close to it as possible because the idea is there's grass on the other end and I don't want to get into that.
Alright, straighten the nose with. Alright. So on the brakes. Nice and easy up to full power. Engine instruments in the green, airspeed. Let it go. Ooh, those brakes don't want to hold. Engine instruments in the green. Airspeed is alive. Rotate.
And here I'm climbing out at VX which is the best angle of climb, which means this is the greatest angle of climb for the plane so that it can clear any obstacles. From there, once I've cleared all the obstacles, which don't exist here, but on shorter runways there may be trees, or I don't know, a small hill, towers. It could be any number of things that's like in the back country. You're trying to clear that. Once you clear that, then you can climb out at VY, which is your best rate of climb. And so that is what a short field takeoff is all about. Now, short field landing, whole different animal. Let's get to that, and then let's get done with this video so that we can move on to some other things. Okay, so in order to accomplish a short field landing in accordance with the ACS standards, I have to be within no more than +10 or -5 of the VSO speed, which is the stall speed in the landing configuration of my airplane, which is 40, and I have to land on my spot or within 200 feet of it. So yeah, so this one is a tough one, especially the on the spot or within 200 feet. So I've picked the numbers. Let's see how I do.
Carb heat off.
No need to worry about the carb heat. All the way back here, max braking.
Max braking.
That was perfect. Just remember the flaps up.
Yeah, the flaps up. Okay.
We would have made it like a 200, like a 300-foot runway or something.
I have to admit, on 2-4, I have a great aiming point. There's like this little bald spot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I keep that in the windscreen, keep my speed, I should be good.
It wasn't even a question if we make this first taxi, right?
Yeah.
So I nailed it. I absolutely nailed it. Right on the numbers. What? Yeah, no, I got that one. That was like my best short field landing ever. It was right on the numbers. And I was within my speed. The stall horn didn't come on. And I was within spec. That would have been a passing grade. So we're gonna, I'm gonna end this video. There was some more maneuvers that we did, but this flight wasn't bad. I would have passed on the 360 turns, the steep bank turns. I would have done well on both of the takeoffs and the landings. I will say that my slow flight during this flight that I didn't show, that I showed from last time, was a little shakier, and I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, but definitely getting better. And mentally, I'm getting better prepared to take this exam. I'm really feeling like I can get up there and make this happen. All right, let's turn off the plane. Let's be done with this. Thank you for flying with me. All right, flight lessons are always so draining. You hear the kids in the background there. So flight lessons are always so draining, but definitely still satisfying. I'm getting better, feeling a little bit more solid, definitely hitting some of those ACS standards. I'm definitely getting my mind right to really think about the fact that I'm about to take my test to become a licensed pilot. Yes, the training has been great. I love my CFI, but the goal is to become a licensed pilot, and the check ride is right around the corner, and I'm feeling a little more solid. So Definitely got some more flying to do. Definitely got to perfect some of the maneuvers. And definitely I need to talk about what I'm doing to study the ground knowledge, because yes, the check ride is in two components. There is an oral portion and there's the flying portion. So talk about the oral portion as well, because that's just important, because if I don't pass that, I don't even get to the airplane. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this journey. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I really appreciate it. Take care. Russ can fly. Russ Kid, I love y'all. Peace.